Okay, so this topic comes back up a lot, and I see it all over the internet. I usually don't respond, it's usually not a big deal, but I just think it's hilarious how venomously atheists reject the idea that their system of beliefs is considered a religion. Because all they talk about is religion and theism and God. Like, people that are that obsessed with religion are typically religious, right? Like R and Raw, like he probably spends a good 3/4 of his waking hours dealing with religion and talking about religion and, bashing religion. But when someone is that obsessed with religion, it's got to be religious, right? It's a system. It's something they're devoted to, a system of beliefs, them being devoted to atheism, them being devoted to evolution. So in my example that I gave years and years and years ago, and, it's come back recently because people, I guess, have read and responded to that, especially this R and Raw fella, who pretends to be like a scientist but has no scientific training, has no degrees in science, has no peer-reviewed research. I don't know how he could possibly consider himself scientifically minded when most of his, work, I would say probably more than 3/4 of his work is dealing with religion and not with science. I mean, he goes to churches constantly. He goes and protests at churches. He goes and talks with religion people, with religious people, with pastors and whatnot, constantly. So, is atheism a religion? Yes. It's defined as a religion under the term religion in the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, the most well-known and the most prominent dictionary for New English learners in the world. The most read for New English learners, those new to English. And it's been that way for decades, Under religion, it says that, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, agnosticism, atheism, so on, is religion. And I'll actually provide links in the description. You can see that yourself. So this fella, Ironclasty, says the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals clearly did not identify atheism as religion. The inmate making the appeal had been trying to get a study group for atheism together based on the categorization of religious groups, his First Amendment right, and the court considered that only a credible survey of the inmate population or of the simple expedient of adding atheist, agnostic, or humanist to the preference form and collecting new data can resolve uncertainty. Anyway, so he's saying that their decision did not classify atheism as a religion. I mean, it's already been classified as such in language, in dictionaries and whatnot. So let's just read this, and my response to him kind of covers it. I said, if you follow the case law in this case, you would know how wrong you are. The petitioner argued, Wisconsin inmate James Kaufman filed this suit under 42 U.S.C. 1983, claiming as relevant here that prison officials violated his First Amendment rights. He raises 3 unrelated issues. One of the 3, the one that has prompted the issuance of this opinion in his claim that the defendants infringed on his right to practice his religion when they refused to allow him to create an inmate group to study and discuss atheism. His religion, as he claimed, right? And the decision affirms as such. We address his claims under the Free Exercise Clause first. An inmate retains a right to exercise his religious beliefs in prison. Tarpley versus Allen County. The problem here is that prison officials did not treat atheism as a, quote, religion, perhaps in keeping Kaufman's own insistence that it is an antithesis of religion. But whether atheism is a religion for First Amendment purposes is somewhat a different question than whether its adherents believe in a supreme being or attend regular devotional services or have sacred scripture. The Supreme Court has said that a religion, for purposes of the First Amendment, is a distinct way of life, even if that way of life is inspired by philosophical beliefs or other secular concerns. So that's the definition of religion according to the Supreme Court. So I'll read that again for you. The Supreme Court has said that a religion, for purposes of the First Amendment, is a distinct form a way of life, even if that way of life is inspired by philosophical beliefs and other secular concerns. So, yes, they have identified atheism as a religion here. See Wisconsin versus Yoder, blah, blah, blah. You can see all the case law here. furthermore, in this case law, it says, in keeping with this idea, the court has adopted a broad definition of religion that includes non-theistic and atheistic beliefs as well as theistic ones. Thus, Torcaso versus Watkins, it is said that a state cannot, quote, pass a law or impose requirements which aid all religions against non-believers, and neither can it aid those religious beliefs on a belief in the existence of God against those religions founded on a different belief. Indeed, Torcaso specifically included secular humanism as an example of a religion. And so here's the case law here, and I'll put this in the description as well. And I just said, I think that you are just here to antagonize, or you haven't read the full decision. In that decision, I only posted a snippet, but the court affirmed over 10 times that atheism is a religion by all intents and purposes. I will make a video to clear this up so that people who have a difficult time reading may be able to listen. But if you want to read it, just go to the case law. It's very clear. Yes, atheism is most certainly a religion, even if you say it's not a religion. Like, just because you say so doesn't mean that it is or is not. Like, your opinion is your opinion. But as far as the dictionary is concerned and widely used forms of the word religion and case law, atheism is in fact a religion by all intents and purposes.